Hey Brett, I think this is recording now. I'm going to make a video for fun for you about my first attempt to land and come back from the moon, or it's spelled M-U-N in this game. There's not going to be any sound, and I'm probably going to screw up dramatically. Hopefully some clever video editing will make that go kind of fast. In any case, I've gotten to the moon once before, and I orbited it and then I came back. But I've definitely never landed on anything. So I've got a rocket that I've designed that I think might work. It looks like this. So you immediately notice that there's a whole ton of these silly small boosters on the outside. This is the best thing I've been able to come up with without full access to all the larger parts. I don't quite have the experience in the game to get some of the bigger rockets. But these are like the smallest, cheapest, and actually some of the most efficient as far as mass to thrust ratio things. And they're all installed on little decouplers. So I fire them off in a series of stages, pop all of them off radially, fire the next stage. Up the center of it is a great big liquid-fueled engine and a series of tanks. So this up to here is the first stage. That is just going to get me like halfway out of the atmosphere. And OSX is trying to bother me. Then this is the beginning of the second stage, one more ring of solid boosters, another liquid engine. That should get me into stable orbit around Kerbal or the Earth. Finally, there's this really small liquid stage that I have my fingers crossed can take me to the moon and back. Along the way, I'll be carrying some Kerbals and this crazy lander. This part is the lander, and then that's some liquid fuel for getting down there and getting back off again. So the idea is to leave, just like Apollo, this thing, command module in orbit of the moon, have this thing come down to the surface and go back up. And then this nonsense is scientific instrumentation. I'm going to leave it, I've decided it's too hard to leave this instrumentation on, or to bring it back with me. So I'm actually going to kick it off. This will detach, and this thing is going to fire sideways and just get rid of it. I'm just going to trash it, and hopefully this lander will be able to come back up into orbit, rendezvous with the command module, and come back to the moon. So, come back to Kerbal. There's no way this is going to work in the first try. But we're going to try. Alright, here we go. Okay, so first I'm going to turn on SAS, which is Stability Assist System. It's going to help me stay pointed upright. Green light says all is go, or launch is go. And the space bar is going to make the magic happen. 1, 2, 3, go! Alright, so now the liquid fuel and these solid rings should exhaust just about the same time. Throttle up. Okay, there goes the whole back end. Alright, the whole lower stage is gone. That's good. More tilt. Alright, I'm really accelerating now. 600 meters per second. That's really good. So I need lots of orbital velocity. Typical orbital velocity is like 1600 meters per second. And this momentum should carry me pretty far out of the atmosphere. Alright, pop off those solids. I'm going to turn off the engines for a minute and check my orbit. Alright, the height of my orbit is 138,000 meters high. The space begins at 70, so that's really good. That's really good. So I definitely can't get to the stupid control at the bottom of the screen. Hang on a second. And we're back. Okay. So the most efficient point to bring this arc into a full ellipse around the planet is at the highest point of the arc. So I'm 2 minutes away from that position right now. I'm going to accelerate time a little bit until I come closer. Okay. So that'll give me a little time to align. So right now the peak of the blue hemisphere on this rotating orb is straight up away from Kerbin. The opposite pole is straight down towards the ground. So I want to point my nose right at the horizon and then throttle up. And you'll see that this parabola starts to widen, and eventually it's going to, I better watch my fuel. Alright, so this rapidly decreasing green bar is my fuel. Alright, this peak has gotten away from me a little bit, so I'm going to wait till I hit the peak again. Get this number of over 70 and then I'm done. There, throttle off. Okay, so now I have a stable orbit. It's completely out of the atmosphere. It won't decay because of hitting any air. So that's good. Right now I need to plan my trip to the moon. Alright, so the moon is over there. And now I'm going to take advantage of a little planning mechanic so I can click on a point in my orbit around Kerbin and add a maneuver. And then these fancy icons are just axes. So this one points the direction that I will be going at that point in my orbit. And if I stretch it, that will mean accelerating in that direction. And then I'm going to set the moon as my target, and then it will give me valuable information about how my current orbit matches the moon's current orbit. Okay, this one is going to expand my orbit out until it reaches the moon. Alright, so let's try that. So here I go. And this is all hypothetical, so you see the yellow dotted line is where my new orbit would be if I accelerated. And then I can shift, let's pretend I did it earlier, or pretend I did it later and see different effects. So since my orbit is pretty circular, it's not such a big effect, depending on where I choose to initiate the burn. So I'm going to stretch it out more, stretch it out more. Oh, alright, a bunch of stuff happened. Let me slow that back down. Okay, so this is useful. This is where I'm going to be closest to the moon's orbit, but when I get there, the moon's going to be over there. So that's obviously not ideal. Well, it'll have gotten ahead of me. So if I turn the point a little bit, then it gives me a little shadow. Okay, the moon will be there when I get there. Alright, so now I know that that's a little closer to what I want. But I still need to go farther. Oh, okay, so now you can see here's a trajectory where the moon's gravity is starting to affect my orbit. And this purple stuff, that is where I will be under the influence mainly of the moon. Now I've tried this a couple times and it seems to work better when you sort of spiral into it and come up from behind it. And here I'm just sort of going smack at it. So I'm going to turn myself farther and do something. Oh, and this has the advantage of being more efficient. So from this point in my orbit, I will need less thrust. I can back that up a little bit. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. I'm not sure why there are two. I think it's like simulating how I'll come back around a second time. Okay, that one has a pretty extensive approach range, so I spend a long time in the vicinity of the moon, which will give me an opportunity to slow back down or speed up as it, I'm not sure exactly which, to match what the moon's doing and get into a local orbit. Alright, so we'll do that. So now, I'll come back in here. You can see the point of my maneuver is about 90 degrees away, and it gives me this information here. It's estimated burn time, 33 seconds, and it also will put a position on my little rotational nav ball thingy. So you can see the same icons are here that show up on my maneuver. So this is the straight ahead vector. This is the direction I'm currently traveling. This is starting to point straight down the ground, but that blue one, the blue crosshairs overlaid on there, is telling me that when I burn in that direction, I will go where that yellow dotted line is going. And then instead of continuing off into nowhere, I will do a second burn. Alright, so now as we get to speed up some time. Alright. The maneuver is in 7 minutes. Here we go. And power on. Alright, now I get to watch my orbit develop into what it has drawn for me. I'm going to slow down my burn a little bit so I don't overshoot, because that will waste fuel. And stop there. Okay, so my actual, no, it needs a little more. There, that's pretty close to what it predicted for me. Alright, so let's get rid of this planner, this little maneuver node. Okay, now my actual trajectory looks pretty realistic. So let's go, let's see what happens. I get to accelerate time really fast. So here's my guy. Doesn't actually look right now that he's on his way to the moon. It looks like he's just hanging out in low Earth orbit, but here we go. As I speed up time, Kerbal is going to fall away. Yep, bye-bye Kerbal. We are not in Kansas anymore. Here's the moon. There it is. Right, and out here at the peak of my orbit, I'm going to start moving very slowly. Orbital velocity of 180 meters per second, so the moon's going to catch up. But I need to plan my next maneuver. So here, the PE, periapsis, means that's the lowest point of my lunar orbit. So that's a good point to reduce. So theoretically, or sort of, if you use your imagination, this maybe is part of an ellipse that's just really big. It's so big it's opened up the other way. So its peak is way out of infinity there. And from this position I can reduce that peak and pull it in. So let's pretend we maneuvered right at the periapsis, and then we're going to slow way down. And that is going to bring, yep, there it is. There's my orbit. There's my orbit around the moon. 2, 1, go. Now we watch that orbit collapse. Yep, good. Okay, I don't feel like waiting, so let's actually try to land this son of a gun. Because I don't have more than one Kerbal, I really don't know what's going to happen to my command module when I detach here. I learned, I had to look this up, but I did learn how to move them from one hatch to the other. So click on this. Oh, he's not in the command pod. He's already in the freaking lander. That just sounds uncomfortable. But okay, you could transfer them, but I don't want to. All right, here we go. Right, this guy still has liquid fuel, but this next ring that's being highlighted here is the next stage. So, pop. There we go. Now I do have, yeah, I have thrusters, so I can reduce my velocity relative to things. So I'm going to have to come back up here and rendezvous with this thing, which I think probably is impossible. But this is the closest I've ever gotten. The closest I've ever gotten. All right. I don't care where I land, so I'm just going to really fly by the seat of my pants here, and not do any maneuver planning. I'm just going to burn retrograde. Oh wait, that's not doing anything. I have to turn, yeah, I have to turn on my engines. Okay. Just going to burn retrograde slowly. Okay, this is my fuel. I need my fuel to both soften my landing and get back up here. So this is going to be so crazy. I have no idea how to land this thing. There are like landing legs that I put on it. I have no idea if they'll work. This is going to be fun. Alright, I'm separating from my command module. Okay. Coming down. I really don't know what to do next. Oh my god. I'm going really fast. I'm going like 500. Ooh, yeah. That's so many meters per second. I just need to slow down. Okay, I'm at 16,000. Yeah, there's the freaking moon, man. Okay, gotta keep slowing down. Gotta keep slowing down, because 400 meters per second is gonna equal crash landing. Okay, but you know what I should absolutely do? Oh my god. Before, like, I fall all the way down. Oh my god, I can't do it. I have to do them separately. Holy shit. 8,000 meters. Okay. Oh, where's retrograde? Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Whoa. Ground, the ground, oh the ground. Ground is coming. Oh. It's really hard managing these controls. It really doesn't want to stop pushing it forward. I can't believe I'm still 2,000 meters above the surface. That can't be right. I don't look 2,000 meters above the surface. Oh, I bounced again. God damn it. Oh! Oh! No! Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I appear to not be dead. Neither have I blown up. Oh, I landed on the moon. I freaking landed on the moon, man! I'm totally out of thruster propellant. I can't align myself anymore. I have almost no fuel. Is the hatch facing down? I think the hatch is facing down. I can't... Oh, what is that? I'm not sure. I'm going to tell my Kerbal to get out. What happened? Oh, I think my Kerbal died. I think my Kerbal was crushed trying to get out of my lander that didn't land upright. That's really too bad because I can't send any data back now because there's no one to send it. Oh well, this has been Chris's first attempt to land on the moon. He did not bring enough fuel, and he landed door down. Thank you for watching.